before we get to our interview with Coach Carl Reed, let's kick it all down to Athens, where the defending national champions hitting the practice field this week for the first time. And we already knew they're going to be doing it without Brock Bowers. He's out for the spring. But linebacker Smile Munden, defensive back Tyke Smith, and now tight end Darnell Washington also will be out for the spring, according to Kirby Smart. But the great news, you never want to be down any players, but elite players, you're talking Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington. Of course, we've kind of hit on it before, but Arik Gilbert back, suited up for the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, this could be a game changer that the rest of the SEC's not ready to handle. I don't know how in the hell you're going to defend Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington, and Arik Gilbert if they're all in the field at the same time. Good luck. But it's pretty interesting here because Kirby was asked about Arik and really tried to downplay the expectations for this guy. And certainly after Gilbert didn't see the field last season, spent time away from the team, I think he's trying to protect his star tight end here who's listed as a receiver, but Kirby says he's going to play tight end. So I think even they don't even know where Gilbert is going to land come fall, provided, of course, he's still on the football team. But we'll be rooting for him. So let's kick it over to Kirby talking Arik Gilbert back with the team this spring in Athens.
He'll fit in and his prospects going forward.
Yeah, Eric's done a great job kind of integrating back to the team. He's been here for a while now. He's done the work we've asked of him. He's doing well academically. I think there's this perception, and it affects college football athletes more than anybody else because they're younger, that this recruiting stigma follows someone and these expectations follow kids. And I look across and follow guys that maybe we signed here or signed somewhere else, and they carry this really heavy burden of expectation. We don't place that burden on anybody. I think sometimes they put it on themselves. I think sometimes social media does it. I think sometimes media in general do it. But for whatever reason, Eric's a guy that's carried a lot of that burden with him in terms of expectation. Our expectation of Arik is to be the best person he can be first and foremost, and hopefully be the best player he can be. He's had a really good offseason. He continues to work. But that doesn't put an expectation of this guy's going to go out there and set the world on fire. He's trying to figure out where he fits in, and he's working really hard. He's done everything we've asked. He's fortunate he's going to get a lot of reps because of the two guys we have out. So he's going to get a lot of reps. Rylan Godey's going to get a lot of reps. Brett Seither's going to get a lot of reps. Delp's going to get a lot of reps. So we've got guys that are going to take reps in those roles at tight end. But I think sometimes the expectation's so great on these kids it can affect them psychologically.
And then last thing here, I mean, this is the big question I have for the Georgia Bulldogs this offseason. And, you kind of got a sense of it, I would imagine, if you go back and listen to the Over-Under show we did with Cousin Shane. But everybody's going to be hyping up Georgia, as they should, with this loaded roster, defending national champions. I'm not saying they're going to fall off a cliff anytime soon, but, they have reached the mountaintop. And I truly think staying there is much, much, much more difficult than achieving it. As hard as it is to get there, hell, it took 41 years in Athens to do it. But aside from Nick Saban, it's not really been done here in recent history. You could argue Clemson a little bit, but again, they had, my God, look at the run they had. Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. Georgia doesn't have that in their back pocket, at least not yet. Maybe one of these five-star young quarterbacks emerge. If so, certainly they'll be back in the conversation. And hell, I'm not sitting here saying Georgia's not going to be contending for the East. Let's not kid ourselves. They are going to be the favorite, but being the favorite and actually doing it is two different things. So, that's the thing that Georgia has got to overcome. They've got to overcome just the expectations of everyone patting them on the back. We've had massive coaching turnover. Hell, we just had Matt Luke walk away. And I know it was for family reasons and all that, but I think when it takes so much out of you to climb this college football mountaintop, I don't think he had it in him to do it once again, start from scratch. And hell, everything you do from here on out at Georgia now is a disappointment. You win the East, but you lose in the SEC championship or you lose in the playoff. It's disappointing. That's how it is in Tuscaloosa. Hell, Alabama won the SEC last year, but they didn't win the big one. And I've not seen any Alabama fans satisfied with how last season ended. That's the territory Georgia's in now. What you couldn't do for 41 years is now the standard. How does Georgia respond to that? That's kind of the biggest question I have for the Bulldogs this offseason.
Well, let's be clear. We won a national championship because we had really good players who played well together, right? So usually the team that wins the national championship is a unified group. I mean, I can go through the last couple of years. There's like this really great group of special players at LSU. They won a national championship. Really good group, special leaders at Alabama. They won a national championship. We had a really good group. So we're trying to develop our team to emulate what is your identity? Is it going to be supreme talent with great character, with great leadership? Is the leadership and character going to outweigh the talent? We're trying to figure out what this team's identity is, completely independent of the previous years. And there's when you look out there, there's not as much experience. There's good football players on this roster, but we got to get those guys in position to be successful. And our job as coaches is to grow them. So I'm going to repeat, I am not, worried about living in the past. That's our job, to make sure these kids grasp that what they do is in front of them. I mean, the wind blows a lot harder at the top, but we've been up there. So it's not like we've been at the tip top, but it's been blowing pretty good where we were. So we got to do a good job, continue to develop our guys and get our guys ready to play.